afternoon to everyone, and a big welcome to our Digital and Innovation Showcase. It's entitled Unleashing Digital to Unlock Value. I'm Garfield, Chief Exec, and I'm joined today by James Bowling, our CFO, and by Sarah Bentley, who's our Chief Customer Officer and is in charge of our retail consumer business, and also is our Global CIO. Now, we're excited to also be joined by a cast of enthusiastic Severn Trent leaders who are going to share with you our story and are going to bring to life, so you're only going to be sat down for a few minutes, they're going to bring to life the areas that we focused on in terms of capabilities we've built and what we believe this can deliver for the future. So we've said openly that our vision is to be the most trusted water company by 2020. And our customers have shared that to be the most trusted, to gain that level of trust from them, we need to do three things. We need to make sure we deliver an outstanding customer experience, that really make sure that we provide best value service, and that we're environmental leaders. And today is all about digital. And the reason it's all about digital is because we see digital capability as being a key enabler towards gaining that trust from our customers. Now, you're only going to see a snapshot today of all the fantastic capabilities, but we wanted to keep it condensed, we wanted to make it brief, to bring it to life without over-labelling the point. So you're going to see a snapshot today of some of the things that we're proud of. And also what you're going to get the chance to see is to quiz our colleagues. So I'm going to set the context, Sarah's going to share some highlights to make sure that you understand exactly what those areas add as value, and then we'll have some ample time for Q&A, either on the stands, but also when we come back together. And you'll also logistically see you've got a brochure in front of you. That's used as an aid memoir for you to scribble on now, but also to bring to life when you head back to the office, you can share with colleagues the digital capabilities that you saw. This sector is often named as being quite an analogue sector, and we hope that there's nothing else you leave today thinking this is one digital company and maybe something which is perceived as a more analogue sector. Now, to bring to life what we've also said is we've said that we have confidence of outperforming during the course of this 5-year regulatory period. You'll remember that last year we stated we were going to deliver £670 million worth of efficiency savings. And against that, that means £260 million worth of outperformance. And that means that we've also got an ambition to be a leading company. One of the key reasons we're making those savings is, yes, we want to unlock value for our colleagues, our customers, and also our stakeholders, yourselves, but also it's about getting ourselves ready for the next AMP, creating that sense of continuous improvement so we enter the next regulatory period in great shape. And so we talk about this internally, about delivering upper quartile. And to bring UQ, as we tend to call it, to life, to bring that to life, it's about Champions League performance. And it's Champions League performance not just on cost base, but also on service and also on assets. And to make that real, the way we've explained it to our people is you need to be in the top 4 for retail and for water. You need to be in the top 2 for waste. And it's that kind of sense of ambition, it's that we're driving towards. And if we do that, as well as delivering the named schemes well and continue to outperform against those, that's the combination of our TOTEX spend that will set us up to go into the next regulatory period well. So what does that look like for the 3 individual areas? Well, when we ended the last regulatory period, we were in 6th place on retail. So to get to upper quartile, we need to move to 4th place, which we've already achieved, and we have ambitions to move beyond that. But as I said, it's not just about making sure that the costs are within that cost corridor, it's about making sure that every customer can afford to pay the bill. It's looking after all those vulnerable customers that are in financial difficulty, and it's making sure that we delight customers with the experience they have with us when they call up for a billing query. If we look at water, it's a bit more of a step change. We were 11th at the last regulatory period. To get to upper quartile, we've got to get to 4th or above. And that would mean, to equate it in terms of pounds, you're talking about, on average, a £20 million saving per year of the annual TOTEX bill is the gap at the end of AMP6 between 11th and 4th place. So it's those types of efficiencies that we're going to talk about today, how we're going to reduce operating costs, how we're going to get things right first time, how we're going to improve our performance. And it's simultaneously doing that from an efficiency perspective, but also really delighting our customers with service and making sure that we get our assets even healthier for the future, because that's what will define us as to whether we really enter the next AMP in great space. In waste, it's different again. We were in pole position, the leader of the pack at the end of the last regulatory period. So it's about making sure that we not only hold on to that upper quartile performance, but we push on. We started this period with the opportunity to proactively invest in new areas, to really think about which parts of our assets, which part of our maintenance routines would we like to build on, and how does that generate into sector-leading ODIs. And that's the opportunity for us, is to deliver consistently throughout this 5-year period fantastic ODIs, but also to make sure that we set a new benchmark, a new frontier position on waste heading into the next regulatory period. Now, many of you have asked us over the last period of time, how have we landed those £670 million of efficiencies? And today is meant to give some examples into those areas. It's meant to bring to life, more than anything though, that it's cultural. It's about a constant belief in continuous improvement. No one example is the game-changing saving, but if you can create that sense, if you can get that organisational belief, then that's what we believe is the difference between ourselves and our peers. That's what will set us apart. And that's what we're hoping to achieve today. With that, I'd like to hand over to Sarah, who's the leader of this area.
Great. Thank you, Liv, and morning, everybody. Well, as Liv said, our ambition is to reach upper quartile in retail, waste and water, but more importantly, to go beyond that, to build a leading business. And over the past decade, the power of digital technology has had a disruptive impact on the way we live our lives and the way that we do business. Arguably, the water sector has not been involved in the middle of this. And the rules of the game are changing, and we believe that those rules apply as much to water as they do to any other sector. So we think that by engaging with these new rules, we can take advantage and create value for customers, value for colleagues, and value for shareholders. So we've got a very clear digital strategy that's focused on 4 areas. Firstly, by rethinking our sector through the lens of the customer. How do we get things right first time? How do we offer more channels that are available 24/7? And in fact, we are the only company in the water sector that provides full service, not just emergency contact, across a range of channels 24/7. We also look at things through the lens of our colleagues. How can we make life easier for them to engage with? How do they have a more productive day's work? How do they have tools that are simpler to use, but also are able to store information and record information more accurately? Which leads us on to assets. We want to make sure that we reduce the risks across our network, but also make sure that we're investing our capital more wisely by using more intelligent decisions that are based on data. And fourthly, all of this leads into financial outperformance, the culmination of making sure that our people are more efficient, our customers are able to serve themselves, and we manage our assets more effectively, all reduce the TOTEX that it costs, reducing bills for customers and creating value for shareholders. Now, underpinning this, we've got a very clear technology roadmap. We've been evolving our architecture and our systems, and we've been reshaping our IS operating team to work collaboratively with our field teams and with the rest of the business so that we've got an agile and nimble approach to take advantage of new opportunities as they arise. So I'm going to give some highlights from the 3 areas about how we're making these step changes. So Liv mentioned that we were 6th as we ended last AMP in terms of our retail business. Now, the cost to serve allowance from Ofwat was £21 per customer per year. Today, through the transformation and using the power of digital, we're already at 4th place, which is a UQ position and equates to a cost position of £17.50 per customer per year. How we're doing this is through a number of different means, which you'll hear about on the stand. But one of the key areas is shifting the channels from assisted channels through traditional telephone means to self-service, online, in social media, and with web chat. In fact, 1/3 of our customers today are choosing to interact with us online without any promotion yet of these channels that we've got. Secondly, we're looking at data and intelligent scorecards to make sure that we manage our bad debt. Now, as you'll have heard from our annual results and our mid-year performance, we're a leader in terms of our bad debt, and we intend to stay that way. So we're using our intelligence and analytics to make sure that we understand those customers who won't pay and accelerating those through the debt journey, but importantly also supporting those customers who can pay with our very extensive vulnerable customer programme that's been supported through our broader customer base. And what's more important to me is that customers love this. The feedback is great. In fact, satisfaction through our digital channels is 13 points higher than it is through traditional voice channels. So the choice of channels, the ease of use, and also the service that they're receiving is a win for everybody. And we're not stopping there. We're building up a rich picture of our customers to get good data so that we can personalise service for them in the future. So if we look at water, there's a greater financial opportunity for us, but also lots of things that we can do to manage the risk in our network and improve the service that we provide. So some of the things you'll see is a suite of apps that we've built for our field force, one of which I'm delighted by, which is SiteMate. That's our core field worker app. And we're saving things like travel time, which is reducing the operating costs of the business by £500,000 a year by just saving 30 minutes per worker per day of travel time. We're also looking across our network about how we can use intelligent data and proactive network modelling. And we're using this in a number of ways that you'll hear about today. A couple of my personal favourites are looking at how we can identify weaknesses where we see transients or pressure changes in our network so that we can predict asset deterioration and invest sensibly in terms of the capital that we deploy to the business. Or another area that's very important to us is around water quality. By using historic data and current data, we can look for predictive trends about where water quality events may occur and, again, intervene before customers are affected. So we're looking at a number of range of different things today, but we're also embracing a culture of innovation, and you'll hear some of these things as well. So, for example, we're using satellite technology for a number of different applications, and one of the ones that you'll hear about today is around leakage detection. Leakage, obviously, is a critically important topic to the water sector, and by combining data that we have with satellite imaging, we can identify hotspots and, again, intervene in the network. And lastly, to our waste business. Well, we're a leader here and we're an ambitious company, so there's no way we're going to fall back in terms of that position. We're very keen to maintain it. One of the real highlights of our performance in the AMP so far is our strong ODI performance. So we're connecting sensors and analytics to be able to identify where hotspots occur. So for one example, we've got 1,000 different loggers that are connected to our analytics platform, and we're able to identify potential areas of pollution and potential areas for blockages, and again, send out crews and teams of people to operate on those sites before an issue arises. Equally as much, we've got other areas of innovation. So I've talked quite a bit about digital, and you'll hear some of our world-leading innovation. So one of the areas in it is in our phosphorus removal, and through this world-leading approach to removing phosphorus from our network, we're saving £10 million this AMP. We're looking for ways at which we can automate, and I think robotics and automation, once we've really embraced quite a lot of potential that there is still to do in the data and analytics area, is around using robotics and automation. And you'll see some of the things that we're doing around drones. Obviously, to inspect our sites and to get a sense of our assets, we need to get a much more holistic view of different assets as they arise. And the types of examples that we've got with drone technology saves us cost, but also reduces our risks. So we really believe that we've moved a long way in a couple of years. All of the investments that we make have a 2-year payback, because this fast-paced technology moves at a rapid cycle. But we haven't stopped there. We're excited. We're just about to enter the 3rd year, and we've got lots of different innovations and ideas in terms of the digital space that we've still got ahead of us. So we're embedding and embracing innovation in a sustainable way into the business, and you'll hear some of the ways that we do that from the teams today. But most importantly, and you'd kind of expect this from me as Chief Customer Officer, we look at the whole thing through the lens of our customers. How do we make service better for our customers? How do we become more efficient so we've got the cheapest cost to serve? And how can we make sure that we preempt things and keep the risk down on our network? But it's also important to me that we do the right thing for our colleagues by providing them the very best tools so that we can attract and retain the best talent and make sure that they're engaged and have a productive day's work. So we think it's an exciting opportunity, and I'm now going to unleash you all on our great stands.